I'm home. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about the Twin Series where the Astros sweep the Minnesota Twins, winning all 3 games. And this was going to come out yesterday, and I can explain. So what happened was, yesterday, when I flew back from Boston, my flight left at 4, I got to the airport at noon. It's a long story. And I'm like, well, at least TSA and what have you will take a super long time, and there was literally no line for anything. I was through TSA at 12:15 for a 4 o'clock flight. So that was a whole heck of a lot of fun, so I found something to do for a while, which basically just meant wander aimlessly. Then the 4 o'clock flight got delayed till 7. That was a whole heck of a lot of fun, that was. So, leaves at 7. The flight up actually went super smoothly for me. The flight back very didn't, because on the way up to Boston, my ears popped only a couple of times, and it wasn't too bad. On the way back, couldn't hear anything out of this ear. This ear was not a whole heck of a lot better. It was awful. Like, my ears had not popped like that, and I didn't realize they could pop like that. So that was an experience, to say the least. On top of that, I ended up with a splitting headache. When I got landed, me and my dad could not find the car. It took us about an hour to find out where he parked. The drive home, I got home about midnight, and I couldn't hear. I waited for 7 hours in an airport waiting for a flight, and I had a splitting headache, and I just wanted sleep. But we're back today. I'm going to film back-to-back the 3-game series recap for the Twins and the game for the Orioles game, and then we will be back to a normal schedule, and it'll be back to normal. Also, I did end up picking myself up a neat little souvenir from Fenway, which was the ice cream hat that you can get. I have always wanted one of these. I think they are super cool, and I would have taken my quirky white girl photo with it. However, they really, really overfilled it, and so by the time I got to my seat, half of it had melted down onto my knuckles, and it was not going to be pretty. So I was also just struggling to eat it before it completely imploded on itself. But I will now add it to the set to make it even more confusing than it was before. So it's now on top of the Jet Sugar Skull. This entire set just has crackhead energy. Anyway, let's actually get on to the Twin Series. First game of it, Astros ended up winning it 4-2, and man oh man, it was Verlander's best game of the season. He did whatever he wanted to the Minnesota Twins in this game. We obviously hear the term vintage performance a lot for Verlander this season, but boy oh boy, this was the definition of that for him. 6 innings of work, 13 swings and misses, 10 strikeouts, no walks, no hits, no runs, and 1 hard hit ball. Verlander did whatever he wanted to the Minnesota Twins in this game. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was as good as he has been this season. Ryan Stennett came in. He looked pretty solid, gave up a base hit, but no walks, no runs, and a pair of strikeouts in his inning of work, so pretty solid from him. Will Smith, no, thank you. Would not look great. He would get a third of an inning. He would give up a pair of hits and a strikeout. Not wonderful from Will Smith. After that, Hector Neris would come in, and hey, he'd get out of Smith's inning clean, and then would not get out of his inning clean. He would go an inning and a third, and would give up 2 runs, 3 hits, a walk, would get a pair of strikeouts though, so at least there's that. And Brian Abreu would come in for 1 out, get a strikeout, but would also give up a walk in his third of an inning to finish the game out. Now, offensively, it was the usual suspects. Yordan Alvarez would smoke 3 balls It was the usual suspects. Yordan would smoke the ball 3 times, would get unlucky though and only get 1 hit. Alex Bregman would have a 3-hit night, including a home run. He is back. This is why you don't give up on a player like Alex Bregman. Trey Mancini was fantastic. He would have a pair of hits, including an RBI double. Jeremy Pena would have a pair of hits. That was pretty neat, not too shabby for him. Mauricio Dubon would have an RBI double, so that was good for him. I've said it before, I love Mauricio Dubon, and I really hope he can find his footing. And I feel like I should touch on it briefly, which was Altuve getting hit by a pitch by Aaron Sanchez, and I don't think it was intentional. Aaron Sanchez has an over 7 ERA. I don't think he could put the ball where he wants it, and I don't think he could be accurate enough to hit him. And that joke aside, I also just don't think he would. I mean, Aaron Sanchez was a teammate of his for a short time, albeit, but he was a teammate. I don't think this was an intentional hit by pitch, but I do absolutely love the reaction from the Astros dugout and all players, including Trey Mancini, who was like the second or third guy out of the dugout to go step to bat for Altuve. And look, every team wants to say they have a brother-like bond among teammates. And with some teams, that's true. With some teams, you can kind of smell the crap. The Astros, I really think they do. And this was just, like, yeah, it's not great that Altuve got hit by a pitch. I'd rather that not happen. Honestly, I still don't think it was intentional. But to see the entire dugout out of the dugout within seconds to go to bat for him is just, it's kind of nice to see. Game 2 would end with a 5-3 Astros victory, where the Astros had a solid lead for the entire time, and then really seemed like they wanted to not have a lead, and in fact blow the game in the 9th inning, and it got kind of sketchy. So we'll start with Framber Valdez, because he's the big story, and he had a very good game, and I'm going to switch off my purely analytical side for a second and talk about Framber, because we have a new franchise record. 21 consecutive quality starts from Framber Valdez, beating Mike Smith's record of 20. Now, I have said in the past I despise the stat of quality start because it doesn't tell a full story. You could have a pitcher go 5 innings of shutout baseball with 10 strikeouts, a walk and a hit, not have a quality start, and then have a pitcher go 7 innings, 5 hits, 8 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 runs, and that would be a quality start. So I don't love the statistic of quality start, but here's what I will say for Framber. It is incredibly impressive that for 21 consecutive goes of it, he has went out and been able to grind out innings pitched for us and not get blown up. That is really impressive. And he has, for this pitching staff, every time he's been out there, been somewhat of a reset button. Because whenever he goes, the bullpen gets a chance to breathe, and we know we're going to have a chance to win. Even our best pitchers this season, like Verlander, I think got blown up for like 7 or 8 runs this season at one point. The best pitchers still have off days, and Framber, even though sometimes he's had off days and given up walks or given up a lot of base runners, he's still been able to get through it, and that has been greatly helpful for this pitching staff. And look, I don't love quality starts, but this was a very good start for Framber Valdez, and he's now the new record holder, which is insane, especially from a person like Framber Valdez, who after 2019, I wasn't sure was going to make a big league roster, and this season was an all-star for crying out loud. 7 innings, a pair of hits, only 1 run, 4 walks, which isn't great, but 8 strikeouts on top of that. He would finish the day with 11 swings and misses. After that, Brian Abreu would come in for a clean 1-2-3 inning of work, get a strikeout in it, not too shabby. And then Rafael Montero would come in the 9th and would give up a pair of runs. Now, only one of them was earned. Only one was earned, so that's a positive. He would not get a strikeout, would give up a walk, pair of base hits. Got a little nervous there for a second, but we got out of it with a win. Now, let's talk about offense. First inning, Jose Altuve, leadoff home run, 1-0 Houston, launched into the Crawford boxes, and man, oh man, Altuve just continues to have one of the best seasons of his career. The Astros would get a little small bally. Is that a word? That's going to be a word. Yuli Gurriel would have a sac fly to make it 2-1 Houston in the 3rd inning, and Alex Bregman would have a sac fly to make it 3-1 Houston in the 6th inning. And then later on in the 6th inning, the Trey Train homers Trey Mancini, his 15th home run of the season, his 5th since putting on this bad boy. And boy, oh boy, what a deadline acquisition for Trey Mancini. And we're going to talk about him in the next game too, by the way. Man, oh man, has he just been great as an Astro. 5-1 Houston. Like I said, we would give up a pair of runs in the 9th inning, but we would still get out of it with a win. All right, and now to close out the Twin Series, the Astros would finish it off with a 6-3 win. Luis Garcia would get the start. He would go 5 innings, give up 3 runs, which isn't great, but only 1 walk to 5 strikeouts. So I don't think it was a totally terrible game for Luis. He'd give up 6 hard hit balls in the 5 innings, which is a little more than you'd like. But again, I don't think he was awful. 11 swings and misses for the night. He was just not great. Will Smith, no, thank you, would go an inning of work. 1 hit given up, no walks, would pick up a strikeout, so not too shabby there. Phil Maton would have a solid inning of work, same exact stat line. 1 inning, 1 hit, no walks, no runs, 1 strikeout for him. Hector Neris would come in, a little bit of makeup for earlier, would get a pair of strikeouts, would not give up a run, and Rafael Montero also gets a little bit of revenge for earlier. No hits, no walks, no runs, and picks up a strikeout in his inning of work. Offensively, Altuve would have a 3-hit game, going 3 for 3 and drawing a walk. Jose Altuve, ladies and gentlemen, man oh man, is he looking fantastic. Yuli Gurriel would have a pair of hits, so that was pretty neat for the pineapple. Alex Bregman would have a pair of base hits, including drawing a walk and scoring 3 runs. Shock. Christian Vasquez would actually hit in the 5th spot this evening, and would have a pair of base hits, so not too shabby for Christian Vasquez, and he'd draw a walk. not too shabby. Trey Mancini would get a hit for the home run, like I said, and Jeremy Pena would have a double to close out the offense in a 6-3 win. And that's it for the Twin series. A sweep, which is pretty darn nice. The Correa stuff made me nearly cry, including Lance McCullers picking up baby Kylo and carrying him around. So that's it for the Twin series recap, and now, as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to record the Orioles recap. And then I have to edit all that. So anyway, I'll be back in not too long for the Orioles video, and then I'll be back tonight for the Orioles second game, and that's all I have to say in this video. So, thank you all so very much for watching, and for bearing with me for the past week. I know it was rough. We're back to normal. And I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.